Tonight we begin a three-part series focusing on that deadly 1985 tornado that spanned Ohio and Pennsylvania. We begin with a report from Jess Briganti, who spoke to some of those who remember all too well that tragic day.
It's been 30 years since the tornado outbreak in northeast Ohio and western PA claimed dozens of lives on May 31st, 1985. An F5 tornado swept through Newton Falls and Niles before continuing east through Wheatland. I met with some survivors from Trumbull County who saw their neighbors rebuild homes and businesses from the ground up.
And I heard this loud noise, and it was hail like the size of golf balls and hitting her tin roof. So I looked out and everything was going horizontal.
That's former Newton Falls resident Leslie Wilson recalling the moment just before the F5 tornado totaled her house that she lived in with her grandmother. Within seconds of hearing the hail, Leslie went from picking up her 80-year-old grandmother in the living room to being trapped underneath their home.
I went and grabbed her out of her chair, and the look she gave me I'll never forget, like, what are you doing? And I grabbed her and we made it to the basement steps. And it wasn't 32 seconds later, the house was on top of us and we were buried in the basement.
They had no chance at all.
The F5 with wind speeds more than 250 miles per hour touched down in Newton Falls just after 6:30 that evening.
I'm looking at it and I still don't believe it.
It continued east, ripping through Niles shortly after. Not only did it flatten more homes and businesses, but 9 lives were lost in Niles that evening.
Ann and Ernie Miller. They lived right across the street here on 422. Ernie was bedridden. Ann would not leave her husband's side. Ann and Ernie died together that night.
30 years later, the piles of debris are long gone, and it may be hard to find evidence that Trumbull County had neighborhoods leveled. But for those who went through it, the memory is as vivid as if it happened yesterday.
This is something you cannot forget once you've experienced it. My reaction to it was, I was on duty, did what needed to be done. And the way this county came together, we had always been fractionalized. We had always been little communities that did not communicate and cooperate well with each other. That changed that night.